Thanks so much for tuning in to Cybernetique. You're joining us live now from Club Saw Green Room, and I'm here with Queeny. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Really stoked for your set later in the night. How are you feeling?
Good, nervous, excited. Yeah, excited and nervous.
Wanted to ask you a little bit more about your energetic collab with Chatty Tam Tam, a really cool percussionist. So, how did your collaboration come to be? This is your second time hitting the stage together?
Actually, our third time. So the first time me and Chatty met each other, we were on the same bill at an event late last year. So it was like December. And as soon as I got on the decks, he just ran on the drums. He loved everything I played. I feel like our energies just match really, really well. So right away, we don't speak the same language, so we had to use Google Translate, but he basically asked, would you like to collaborate more in the new year? And I said, absolutely. So I think it was January 13th, we were here. And that was like our first official like event together, playing together. And we don't speak the same language, so we don't prepare our sets and we just go for it. It's very intuitive, it's very organic, and honestly, it's our energies just match so well. It's as soon as I see him, like even at sound check, as soon as I started playing music and he started drumming, we just have this, we just have this vibe together. It's unmatched and it's incredible. I'm so happy I found him.
That's really special. Being able to read someone on stage like that, I feel like it's a really, I don't know, rare symbiotic relationship. How do you kind of navigate that improvisation when you're on stage?
Honestly, I don't think it's me. I think it's God. Like I don't know what else to say. I always kind of have an idea of what I want to play. Like I make proper folders in terms of like where I want to go with my set. But then I show up and I just kind of feel what I like the crowd and I guess with Chatty, and it just happens. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's God. It's not me. It's God.
Guided by forces bigger than ourselves.
Yes.
So for people out there who are watching who might not be familiar with your sound practice, you're a DJ most recently and also a live sound artist yourself. So
Yeah.
can you tell me a little bit more about your kind of like searching for tracks and how you find music that inspires you?
Okay, so big ups to the dance community. So dance is where I find all my hot tracks, like usually, but I think most DJs were in record pools. So record pools essentially is you buy into a pool of like, and there are songs that were released. And you have like not unlimited, but you have a certain amount of downloads, like a month or so. And so I searched through there, but yeah, dance, the dancers, like going to dance class or like watching dance videos on the internet. um they have the best music. Yeah.
Are there any dance like styles that really speak to you?
Afro, big time Afro street dance. That's very broad because there's very different styles. Every kind of country in Africa have their own style, but I was recently in South Africa like training, and there's so many styles. Let's just say African street dance is the best, and that's what speaks to me. I just, as soon as I hear that music, I just feel it in my spirit. So it's a lot, like, again, it goes back to the energy. It's always about the energy of like the music and being in a room with a bunch of dancers in the African street dance world. It's, yeah, you want to get the steps, but it's all about your energy.
You spent a lot of time abroad to inform your practice. You've been all over the world and you were recently on another really big trip. So I wanted to ask you about what you've discovered. And this is kind of a big question because you've been to a lot of places, but have you had any like major experiences abroad that have informed your style of DJing in any major way?
Okay, Brazil. Almost a decade ago, it was my second time in Brazil. The first time I was there, I discovered Baile Funky. So, but the second time I was there, I discovered Fela Kuti. So Fela Kuti is the creator of Afrobeat. And I'd never heard of Afrobeat before until I went to Brazil and discovered Fela Kuti. So that in itself changed my entire life. That's how I got into like African street dance. That's how I started loving, the newer Afro beats, or we'll call it Afro pop, Afro fusion. But I've always had a passion for electronic music, and like the underground electronic music. So that's kind of how I found my style, was discovering Fela Kuti almost a decade ago in Brazil.
Wow, that's so sick.
It's really sick. Brazil, Rio de Janeiro specifically is like the best place I've ever been. And I've been, like you said, a lot of places, but it's my top for sure.
But you've always come back to Ottawa. So what do you think stands out to you about the Ottawa scene, and what has kept you here?
Well, I'm from here. Rent is cheaper than most places. And yeah, I just feel like Ottawa is a really happy medium place to live. It's not, as expensive as Toronto. Maybe Montreal is still kind of cheap, I guess. But you have opportunity to go out and do things, but you also have opportunity to chill out. So I think it's that happy medium. And the fact that, my situation for rent anyways is like fairly cheap. I can make money, save money, and travel. So that's why, yeah, I guess that's why I always come back here. It's home.
Has there been anything here that's been going on? I mean, other than Pique, of course, that's been exciting you lately?
I think just the underground electronic community is really, really fantastic. I feel like a lot of people, Ottawa has this like stigma on Ottawa being boring, but I feel like once you just find your crowd, and for me, it's definitely within the underground electronic scene. It's not boring at all. I have to turn down stuff a lot because I'm like, I'm tired. I prioritize my rest. So I'm like, I need to rest. There's a lot going on in the city. You just need to find your tribe, and yeah.
Speaking of which, you've recently started a cool project called Girl Gang, and I wanted to ask you a little bit about that. Did it start this week?
So there's a lot to say about that. So Beyond the Beats, hope I'm saying that right, is going to be a program that City at Night is starting. My girl Ala, she goes by Ala Music. Shout out to Ala. She's going to be working with City at Night to run more events, workshops, just to bring the community together. So the Her Beats Femme Intro to DJ workshop was more of like a collaboration with Concept Thursday, which is Afterlight, but it is kind of an intro to what we're going to be offering more in the future. So it might be kind of like a membership based thing. We're not really sure yet, but they just sent out a questionnaire to see like what the community wants, and they're going to take that survey and see kind of what the community is looking for, and then take it from there. And on Sunday, this Sunday, so today's Saturday, tomorrow, excuse me, is going to be the launch of Beyond Beats, and they have an event with Chus. He's like a very well-known DJ from Spain, been around for a very long time. Yeah, big fan, really excited for tomorrow. But that's kind of the intro. And then yeah, so there'll be more workshops kind of like we did on Thursday coming soon. We're working on it.
Excellent. And some parting words, but is there anything else going on with you artistically, creatively, that you'd like to talk about?
Um, I guess I could say that my journey has now taken me more to the conscious side of stuff. So I'm actually going to be dipping more into the conscious DJing. So ecstatic dances. I'm also teaching classes, kind of bridging the gap between yoga and dance. So I'm teaching, I call it intuitive movement. So I'm kind of dipping more into the realm of the conscious stuff. So I'm kind of like, I'm booked for a few festivals coming up this summer that haven't been announced yet, but I'm going to be collaborating. I'm going to be doing, DJ, and I'm going to also teach as well. So that's kind of a new thing that I'm adding to my stuff.
Excellent. Well, we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for Queenyy. Thanks so much for joining me again. You're tuned into Cybernetique. Right now, we're live from the Club Saw Green Room, and Queenyy is on later with Chatty Tam Tam. Thanks so much for tuning in.